Well, this afternoon we're heading to Portland, Maine. There was this guy that we saw on TV from Rwanda, and he started a coffee shop in Rwanda, in Portland, and he uses just beans from Rwanda, which is it's an interesting little story there, because he gives back 50% of the profits. Now remember, think about that, 50% of the profits. So that's after all expenses, but still, goes back to the farmers in Rwanda. So we're gonna head up there and see what his coffee's like, what it tastes like, and then if if it's good stuff, I think I'd approach him, because I like that idea of what he's doing, and see if there isn't some way that we could do some type of wholesale arrangement. I don't know what his, how much he brings in, how much is available, all those things. But the first is to see if the coffee is a good tasting, good quality coffee.
You turn away and I'm lost again. This ain't the way to get my heart to trust. Yeah, you're making it tough.
So I don't know if there's just a lot more motorcycles these days, or this is some kind of like bike week over in New Hampshire, and they're all spread out. We're in Maine, but I have no idea. But there's a lot of bikes around this weekend. A lot of them. And there's
He's on it.
Turf Farm right here. I don't know how they do it, where they do it, when they do it. Nothing about it. And we have some, I think these shits, ooh, look at the pirate ship one. Okay, see that big building with the red cupolas? That's a place called Kate's Butter. And if you've ever been in the grocery store and you see Kate's Butter, that's where Kate's Butters comes from.
If you can't say that you need my love, I'm gonna say I've had enough, because I can't read your mind. So don't assume I know.
Okay. Open 7 days a week, 7:30 to Saturday 4:30. Okay.
So just speak the words. I promise.
Okay, so we just had coffee, and coffee was very good. I got a blonde inside, but I bought a bag of the medium roast, so we're gonna try that. And like I said, if this went well, so yeah, we drove, what, an hour to have a coffee, see a place. But there's going to be a lot of that. When we were talking the other day to the accountant, he was like, well, how many miles do you think you're going to put on the car? And we were like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50,000 a year? Because there's going to be a lot of trips like this that we go to a coffee shop. Now, in this particular case, we were sort of testing the coffee to see what it tasted like, and we brought a bag home. And if it works out in this case, then I'd contact the guy. Maybe there's a opportunity to do some business with him. Maybe there isn't. I don't know. I don't know if he just brings in enough coffee for himself, or whether there's potential for selling more or whatever. But other ones will be us going to places and seeing if we can give them some samples, and then hopefully they'll become wholesale customers. Between the wholesale and the retail, I'm hoping that things will progress, but I'm not silly to think that it's going to be like instantaneous. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some travel. It's going to be work.
Yes, I'll never go if you just say so. If you just say so. You do a lot of real sweet things.
We were just discussing how we're going to do, you know, if Sid does her to be determined name for cooking, Sid's Kitchen or whatever it's going to be, and roasted. I couldn't be out really logistically when she's doing the kitchen, so I couldn't be out on the road, because if I'm out on the road, that means, you know, 99% of people perfectly fine, but you get one crazy person who shows up at, you know, 6 o'clock in the winter. I'm not around to pick up their food, and I'm not around, so I think probably what we'll end up doing is the kitchen part. The cooking, Sid's cooking, will probably be like 3 days a week, and that way I won't be on the road or anywhere other than there for those 3 days. If we're going to go anywhere, then it would be on one of the other 4 days, and that way everything should run relatively smoothly. Of course, barring weather, but, you know, there's no control over weather. Okay, groceries done. We need what, 84?
What?
Yeah, I can do 84.
But low humidity.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh, you?
I like the high humidity. Almost back. So let's see, we got about we left at 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. 3.5 hours for coffee. Probably most people wouldn't drive 3.5 hours to get a cup of coffee, but this is Sanford, Maine. That used to be the high school, and they just built a new one, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Very fancy one, too.
Yeah, they got all kinds of vocational classes, and I think they've done pretty well with it too.
I think they have nursing, automotive, hair, and then something else.
Okay. Well, it's not that we're taking the scenic route sort of on purpose. Well, we are on purpose, but over there in Springvale, it looked like there was a motorcycle going along, and a car went across the road, you know, to take a turn, and didn't see the motorcycle, and the guy went, or girl or person, went right into it. So it didn't look too good. Fishing here once years and years ago.
Parts of Sanford we've never seen before.
No, this is where the YMCA is.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this comes out back to that light by the gas station.
Right.
We're just sort of doing a backwards loop to avoid the accident, since there's no way to get around that accident. Street. That road back there was called Wee Man.
Okay.
Does that mean wee like in Scottish? Wee little? Or something else?
I don't know.
Well, hopefully the accident people are all right. Where is it? See that house right there? Right there. Yep, that one. Sid and I looked at that house how many years ago? One time many. It wasn't in great shape, but the price was too high, and we were like, eh.
Oh, and the inside was just horrible.
Yeah, inside was like garbage. So, you know, we've done that. Look at different places, and I've always thought, you know, if it's an option and you can find a good place, we've looked at a lot of places and said, okay, has it potential? Could you make some money by fixing it and then turning around and selling it, something like that? Not so much into renting, just so you know. It's really not my thing. I don't have the patience, I think, for being a landlord, renter. Done it very few times, and yeah, it's just not me. Swimmers or no swimmers?
Swimmers.
Oh, swimmers, look at that. Because it's a balmy 82. That water must be about maybe 60. Maybe. So now that we're not driving, I can explain that a little bit better. Last night on the news, there's a whole bunch of immigrants that are coming to Portland, Maine. And one of them was this man, and he started these coffee shops. He's from Rwanda. So I looked into him and, you know, saw what he was doing and everything else, and how he's trying to help the farmers back in Rwanda. But I didn't know what the coffee really tastes like. So we went, saw the place. I think he was actually there, but he was like having a business meeting, so didn't say anything to him. And what I'm thinking is that, you know, in the future, I would love to have some type of an opportunity like that, so that if I could buy bags of beans from him, it would only be, again, one removed. You know, you wouldn't have wholesalers and all kinds of other stuff in between. And I could buy that coffee. It would be a good coffee, hopefully. We've got to do some testing. I have to talk to him. I bought a bag to try. I had a blonde roast when I was there, and it was very good. I bought a bag of medium to try that, see how that is. And if that works out, then he also sells 5-pound bags of green beans. So I'll order up a bag of that, roast that up, give it to some people to try. If the consensus is that enough people like it, then I'll contact him and say, look, is there anything we can work out so that, you know, I can buy whole bags of coffee from you at wholesale price, and hopefully everybody wins. So that's what that whole trip was about, to just sort of explore. Now we wait and see.
But lately I've been wondering if it's a game and I'm the pawn. So tell me